Between the World and Me was absolutely incredible. This book was really amazing. Again, I'm entering it from an outsider's perspective. So many parts in the book really stood out to me. These are not all of the places, but if I had to do that, this video would probably be hours long. The first part I wanted to bring up was the first place where he mentions the dream, which is a reoccurring theme in the book. I've seen that dream all my life. It is perfect houses with nice lawns. It is Memorial Day cookouts, block associations, and driveways. The dream is tree houses and the Cub Scouts. The dream smells like peppermint, but tastes like strawberry shortcake. And for so long, I've wanted to escape into the dream, to fold my country over my head like a blanket. But this has never been an option, because the dream rests on our backs, the bedding made from our bodies. This dream is a play on the American dream, which is built on individualism and meritocracy. The American dream operates on the belief that anyone can succeed as long as they work hard. But these tenets of the American dream imply that where people end up is a direct result of how hard they work in life. If this were true, everyone would need to be starting in the same place. Not everyone starts off in the same way economically. Not everyone starts off in the same social group. Ta-Nehisi Coates reveals that the American dream was constructed not on equality, but instead on the exploitation and oppression of Black people. I would not have you descend into your own dream. I would have you be a conscious citizen of this terrible and beautiful world. To choose to live within the dream is to disregard Black people, to paint them as other. So I'm definitely guilty of this. Last year, my roommate and I would actually have sort of a debate whether the American dream was true or not, and I said, look at all the progress that we've made. We don't have as much homophobia, we don't have as much racism. And she would argue with me all the time, like, no, like, look at the proof. How many problems we're seeing with the government, with all these white nationalists, with freaking bombing, shootings. But here I was saying, well, at least it wasn't as bad as it was before. Hasan Minhaj makes a really good comparison to racism as Wi-Fi. If your Wi-Fi was slow, you would not tolerate the Wi-Fi company saying, oh, well, at least it wasn't as slow as it was 10 years ago. You would kill that person, in his words. This book really helped me to realize how entrenched in the dream that I was. I realize now that a better name for the American dream is the white American dream. Another place that really spoke to me was where he talks about what divides him from the world. So the book is called Between the World and Me, and this is where he answers that question. So the world he refers to here is the world of whiteness, where people don't have to worry about their bodies being stolen, where from childhood they learn that the world is theirs and they own it. So he says, and I saw what divided me from the world was not anything intrinsic to us, but the actual injury done by people intent on naming us, intent on believing that what they have named us matters more than anything we could ever actually do. So what's separating him from the world is not anything of his own doing, but this separation was created by white people in order for Black people to not access it. On pages 112 to 113, the author is speaking with Jordan Davis's mom, who we are familiar with from our visual text this week. He's talking to Jordan Davis's mother after Jordan Davis was killed, and what Jordan Davis's mother says to Samori, Ta-Nehisi Coates' son, is this: you exist, you matter, you have value, you have every right to wear your hoodie, to play your music as loud as you want. You have every right to be you, and no one should deter you from being you. You have to be you, and you can never be afraid to be you. So right here was an amazing opportunity to check my own privileges. These are all things that I don't have to think twice about. So this leads me to my next part, where I'm just gonna say that I really wish other people would read this book. maybe even more so than So You Want to Talk About Race, which was my favorite book so far in this class, because it shows some of the starkest realities of being black in America, of what that's like. Obviously, this man can't speak for everyone. He's one black man. This is not the universal black experience. However, multiple studies have shown that the police do harass black people at a much higher frequency than they do white people. We've studied how broken the prison system is. The truth is that the police reflect America in all of its will and fear. And whatever we might make of this country's criminal justice policy, it cannot be said that it was imposed by a repressive minority. The abuses that have followed from these policies, the sprawling carceral state, the random detention of black people, and torture of suspects, are the product of democratic will. And to challenge the police is to challenge the American people who send them into the ghettos armed with the same self-generated fears that compelled the people who think they are white to flee the cities and into the dream. The guy I went to school with just posted on Facebook that he is going to become a police officer. There are many good police officers in the world, but it's difficult to argue that this guy is going to be one. I wonder when he goes to police training, what will they talk about there? Will they talk about race? Will they address police violence? He's posted videos from Fox News that justify police violence. They'll have these videos of people just before the police assault them and show that these people deserved the violence that the police are inflicting on them. It's really scary to think that this guy who may never have thought about race once in his life is about to have a 50-year career of interacting with people in very charged situations. And it really got me thinking. I wish he would read this book so he can understand a different perspective, or try to feel what other people are feeling, so he can understand why not everyone worships the police.